Meets Nathan Caine. Lives a dull life.
I'm all alone. There's no one.
Do you lay eggs?
Think you'll have an absolute blast. Meets Nathan Caine. One look at him and you know exactly what kind of guy he is. Lanky, nerdy, avoids trouble, gets bullied, never gets the girl, bad with women.
I never quite met a guy like you before.
Me neither.
Basically your classic nice guy next door, who is actually content with being the classic guy next door.
Bikini that she wore for the first time today.
But one thing changes everything for him. Love. Directed by Dan Burke and Robert Olsen, Novocaine is an action comedy starring Jack Quaid as the unlikeliest hero imaginable. He has congenital insensitivity to pain with anhydrosis, meaning he doesn't feel pain, so he's forced to refuse solid food, in case he bites his tongue off. He baby-proofs his home, and he needs reminders to use the bathroom so his bladder doesn't explode. He lives a dull life, working as an assistant bank manager, and spends his free time playing video games with his online buddy, played by Jacob Batalon. In other words, this pretty much sums up his life.
I'm all alone. There's no one here beside me.
For months, Nate has had a crush on his bank co-worker, Sherry, played by Midthunder. A spilled coffee pot leads to them going on a lunch date, where she spoon-feeds him his first ever bite of pie. He thinks the pie is amazing. Oh, I know that feeling well. Flirtatious and extroverted, Sherry is the first person who seems to bring Nate out of his shell. When he tells her about his disease, the clearly damaged Sherry also comes out of her shell. Before getting intimate, she asks, if you can't feel pain, does that mean you can't feel pleasure? Ooh, what a question. Then he says, if I have never felt pleasure before, you can bet your life I'm gonna feel some today, or I'm gonna die trying. Okay, he didn't say that, but he was definitely thinking it.
We do not quit. Again.
After a passionate night together, Nathan is completely smitten. Inspired by love, he's suddenly ready to push the limits of his condition. And this now pretty much sums up his life.
Sun's in my heart and I'm ready for love.
Then chaos strikes. Armed robbers dressed as Santa storm his bank, steal the cash, and worse, kidnap Sherry. Nathan decides to take matters into his own hands. Goodbye, nervous nerd. Hello, pain-proof action hero. Next thing you know, Nathan has turned into a blistering, brawny, brutal, bull-headed berserker. He steals a cop car and sets off on a wild rescue mission. What follows is a high-energy, ridiculous chase across the city, complete with gunfights, kitchen brawls, booby traps, and injuries that should be excruciating, except Nathan doesn't feel a thing. The film is packed with absurd, over-the-top moments that use Nathan's condition for maximum comedy. Meanwhile, two cops played by Betty Gabriel and Matt Walsh are hot on his trail, convinced he was part of the robbery. But does he stop? Nope. Poor Nathan's body gets battered, broken, and deep-fried, but he keeps on going. Jack Quaid shines as the lovable, awkward hero, balancing humor and chaos perfectly. It's fascinating that he had to train himself not to flinch after being punched to convincingly portray someone who doesn't feel pain. He pulls it off flawlessly, showcasing his impressive range as an actor. Midthunder is brilliant as well, and her chemistry with Jack adds depth to their characters, making it easy to understand why he'd risk everything for her. Jacob Batalon adds a comedic sidekick dynamic, once again playing the classic guy in the chair role like he did in Spider-Man.
Guy in the chair.
And he's just as hilarious here.
Do you lay eggs? What?
Even Betty Gabriel and Mark Walsh, who are tracking Nathan, get some great one-liners, while Ray Nicholson plays the perfect unhinged villain. I thought Ray Nicholson was great. He cracked me up in every scene he was in. What makes Novocaine stand out among other action movies is how it flips the hero trope. Nathan isn't a fighter, or even a particularly brave guy. He's just a regular dude with a rare condition and a sense of justice, stumbling his way through a blood-soaked adventure. His inability to feel pain leads to some absolutely hilarious reactions in life-or-death situations. The third act does stretch a bit too long with two unnecessary climaxes, but the movie's sharp comedy and sleek pacing keep things entertaining, along with a great ensemble cast. There are some gross scenes, but if you can handle the gore, I think you'll have an absolute blast.
That one hurt the most.
But I stand to be corrected, so I remain open-minded.